All right, guys, we are getting dangerously close to being able to stick this engine and transmission back into Project HellStang, but there are a few small loose ends we got to take care of first. So one of the small loose ends is with our Holley Dual Sync distributor. To be able to pop that bad boy in, Holley wants us to have the engine at 50 degrees before top dead center. Now, on my 5 liter, 302 here, our balancer only goes up to 30 degrees before top dead center, so we can't actually see 50. But don't worry, Holley in their instructions, they give us some different distances that we can measure from zero, depending if we have a 5-inch, 6-inch, or 7-inch pulley. So we'll get that all figured out. But I want to do it now because once this engine is inside the Mustang, it's going to be, I'm going to have to get down on the ground and try to see this crap and get all set up. So I'm going to put the mark on here, and then we'll make sure, we're on top dead center on the number 1 cylinder. And then that way, once the motor's in, we can just simply drop this bad boy right in there. All right, so here's our Holley instructions. So they do a pretty good job of saying, okay, guys, if you got a 6-inch, 7-inch, 8-inch balancer, measure from the 0 degree, out, and then that'll be the approximate 50-degree mark. Now, the problem with our Ford is we don't have a 6-inch, we don't have a 7-inch, we have a 6.4-inch. So it also says down here somewhere, don't worry. This shit's it's just got to be kind of close. It ain't got to be perfect. So that made me feel better. So what I did some mathematicals here, and 3 1/16 minus 2 5/8 is about 7/16. So I just split that in half, and so I'm just calling it 3/16 instead of 3 1/2 because we're only 6.4 and not 6.5. And then I added that to 2 5/8, so we get 2 13/16. I mean, pretty damn near 3 inches is what I'm going to be measuring. So I'm going to probably go ahead and put a mark on my crank, get that all set. All right, so I got a 24 millimeter to put on the end of the crank here. And I don't know, I'm just going to spin it over a bit. That don't sound good. What's going on here? Oh, dang. All right, so the problem I'm having is my flywheel, the dowels on the back of the flywheel are actually hitting my engine stand. So I got really scared for a second that something was going on with my rotating assembly, but it's just that. So, all right, so I can't really crank this thing, but you know what? It doesn't matter if I have this all lined up. I at least just want to get this pulley marked with the 50 degrees, and then we'll be good to go. So I can actually see down here are all my marks right now. So I just need to find 0. And then what I'm going to use, you can just use probably a tape measure, but I've got this little, body thing. So I figure that'll be easy for me to just lay across, mark out, like I said, about 3 inches, 2 13/16 we said. And we'll just put a little mark there. All right, so apologies, I'm freaking on the ground here having to look up. But so we can see here's our 0 mark on our crank, and then like I said, we only go to 30, so I'm just going to take this little thing, we'll stick it here, and then our mark's going to be somewhere right there. So again, I just want to have the mark, that way when it's in the car it'll be easier. I can just rotate it till I see the bright yellow mark. We'll be good to go. All right, let's see what kind of damage we can do here. So I'm just going to put the 1 just so we're perfectly lined up. So we're going to go just to about 4 inches. So we're right at that A. There's some numbers on here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but all right, that's it. So that should, pretty approximately be our mark. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So just getting you guys in close. So there's some kind of letters there. I don't know, E7, TA, some crap. So ended up being right about on that A. So that should be our 50-degree mark. Once we get this bad boy into the car. I did also take a second. I took the actual distributor, just stuck it in, went in just fine, all that good stuff. So once this is all in, that'll be super easy to do. Now the other thing you might be thinking is, hey Brandon, I thought you were running coil on plug, with the GM coils. The answer is yes. So we will not need this cap. Now when you buy your dual sync, it just comes with this regular cap and rotor. We're not going to need that with the coil near plug setup. So additionally, I did have to buy this little Holley cap MSD makes one as well. So I think the MSD one's actually cheaper, like 40 or 50 bucks. I think the MSD one might be like plastic, where this Holley piece is actually like a billet aluminum and it's painted black and it looks nice. And I don't have anything MSD on the car, you know, so I was like, well, it's Holley, right? We got Holley Terminator, so let's just go with Holley. So this was like 60 bucks. I'll put the link and stuff down below. But anyway, so that's going to look sweet. I mean, it's going to be super low profile once that thing's all on. So I'll probably just wait to stick that on because we're going to have to take all this crap apart anyway once we get this dual sync installed. All right. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but I just got to freaking show you guys. So I picked up my parts from Powder Coating this morning, and I'm just pretty dang stoked about it. So this is one of the front engine bracket accessory deals. I think this one's for the power steering and the air conditioning. Goes something like that. But they did it metallic silver color. So yeah, looks freaking awesome. Can't wait to get this stuff all back on. And then here's our alternator bracket. So turned out sick, man, with all those holes and stuff. Really excited. And then boom, we got our black alternator. They got powder coated as well. Guys did a good job keeping out the stuff on the bearing surfaces. So got to get that thing rebuilt at some point whenever I get some downtime too. I also got the turbo manifolds back. They're clean. Now I just need to spray them with some ceramic coating. So again, when I get some extra time, we'll do a separate video on that as well. All right, now from last weekend, you guys remember we ended up getting the wrong clutch. I ordered the wrong freaking clutch. I ordered a 26 spline clutch instead of a 10 spline for this thing, so it didn't work. So I had to get a new one on order. So we need to get that bad boy installed so that we can get the transmission bolted up. And then that way tomorrow, hopefully, I'll be able to, as long as I can get a second hand, I can get this thing tossed back into the Mustang. All right, clutch is here. Let me show you guys what we got. Now again, this is just a pretty low budget clutch. You know, we're not going for much horsepower, 400, 500-ish, you know, max, right? So this is what Clutch Max calls their kind of King Cobra type replacement, you know. So it's not much of an improvement over stock, which is also what I wanted, because with these Mustangs, with these cable clutches, you know, I don't want to be driving this thing thousands of miles like on the Power Tour, for example, and, you know, have it be a pain in the butt to push the clutch in. You know, I want to have a nice light clutch pedal. It's just got to hold the power. We're not going to really abuse the hell out of this thing, so we don't need anything super crazy, right? So I think this will work for what we're doing. It's a little bit of an upgrade over stock, but again, nothing super crazy. So I think this is like their, what they call stage 2. And I think on their little website description or whatever, it's like, it holds around that point, 450, 500 pound-feet of torque, something like that. So when I did a lot of research, a lot of guys had pretty good luck around this power level with the King Cobra clutches. So I think that, you know, this style of clutch, it's going to be fine. It is what it is, right? If we end up wanting to make more power down the road, then we can go with something a little crazier. But I think this will be just fine for now. And the most important part, we needed to verify 10 splines. So this is going to work perfect for us. Entire kit, you know, everything we need, pilot bearing, all this stuff. And so we can go ahead and get this thing bolted back on. Now, because we already had that other clutch kit, I did already install the throw-out bearing and the pilot bearing. That's already installed. That's already good to go. We already have the flywheel on. So we literally just need to go and take our alignment tool and just get this thing bolted on really quickly. All right, installation should be pretty dang straightforward here. Just pop our little alignment tool. And we should be able to get this bad boy on next. That's a dowel, that's a dowel, come on. All right, we got one started. Now it's not gonna fall off and crack my toes, so that's great. It's always exciting. Oh my God, look at all this dirty mess. right, for final torque, everything I read online is like 25 to 35 foot-pounds, so I think I got this thing set to like 32. So just going kind of a star pattern and torque them all down. All right, well, just for fun, I think I'm going to see if I can just stab this transmission in here in one shot. It's not super heavy, so it's just kind of awkward, you know. So let's see if we can kind of manipulate some leg action in here. And she wants to move. Oh, come on, fingers. I think she's kind of in there. Just need to get a bolt. Bolt or two. Maybe. Possibly. All right, so my wife just helped me hold the motor in place, and I re-stabbed it in there. Got it right in there. So definitely helps when you got the right spline. All right, we got to figure out what to torque these things to. All right, so I got the transmission bolts all torqued down, so I kind of move this thing out of the way. And because again, I'm not sure if we'll be stabbing this thing in tomorrow or Sunday or whatever, but that whole assembly is now like 100%. Just boop, jack it up, boop, drop it in, good to go. Now the next video we'll probably do is I'm going to start to probably rebuild, put this alternator back together. So it'll be kind of part 2 of the alternator rebuild. So I'll probably work on that maybe either later tonight or tomorrow. But as far as this video goes, it is freaking over with, baby. We got everything we needed to get done on the engine. So now we can just drop that sucker in tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. My dad's supposed to be maybe coming over. If not tomorrow, then maybe Sunday. So we'll see. But cannot wait to get that thing dropped in. So like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Catch you guys on the next one.